Excuse me.
His official title is he's not an animal control officer. He used to be an animal control officer. He is now a chief investigator of animal control. Y'all give it up for Carl McClanahan. See you, sir. Have a seat.
The hot seat.
No, it's not a hot seat. We never love So, Mr. McClanahan, tell us a little bit about yourself. You decided to, first of all, we know that you're a City of Detroit employee. You've been working with the City of Detroit for 31 years.
Yes.
31 years. You're now a chief investigator with animal control.
Correct.
But you weren't always with animal control. Before you were with animal control, you were with the rec department, right?
Correct.
Well, what led you to sign up to join the City of Detroit 31 years ago?
I worked recreation in the summers while I was in school. And even 30 years ago, like now, student debt, they were hiring. So I decided that, I needed to work and transferred. And 31 years later, I'm still there.
All right. So transferring from rec department to animal control, and initially you were what did you do first at animal control?
Animal control officer, which everybody commonly refers to as the dog catcher. I don't take offense to that.
Okay.
I love that term because these are the people that when you have issues with stray dogs, these are the individuals that come out and capture those dogs. Yeah. So I don't get offended by dog catcher. That's a term of endearment. Those are my folks. All right. And it's never boring. It's always interesting. It's always different. But what it really is helping people.
So the first time you went out and were put on patrol, go catch a dog, talk about that very, very, very first experience.
It was eye-opening because not working animal control before, didn't know much about what we did or how we did it. But what constantly occurs, and even to this day, is you go into neighborhoods and you're there to better the neighborhood. I mean, if you've got a block where you've got multiple pit bulls chasing people, chasing kids, things of that nature, we go in, we try to capture those animals, remove the animals, make the neighborhood safe for the community. I mean, that's what we do. So, it's that type of rewarding work because the people in the neighborhood appreciate what you do.
So I know as a first animal control officer, now chief investigator, you've seen a lot. You've seen a whole lot. We always like to know a little bit about digging into some of those stories. Are there any stories that come to mind that really steeled you and made sure that you said, this is definitely what I want to do? And now my job is more rewarding today, more than it was yesterday. Was there anything that occurred?
Well, 30 years of doing it, there's plenty of stories. But I'll share a recent one. We had a woman who would walk her dog every morning, and we had an irresponsible owner who didn't secure his pit bull. And unfortunately, twice last year, the pit bull got loose and attacked her dog. First time in July of 2017, second time in November 2017. I ended up issuing a total of 5 tickets to the dog owner, and we finally went to court earlier this week to resolve those issues. And the good part is the lady came to court. I commonly refer to her as Grandma. Grandma came to court, told her story, testified. Dog owner's found guilty on all the charges. Has to pay restitution for the vet bills through Grandma. And that's in her gratitude at the end of all that is what makes this worthwhile, because she can walk the neighborhood with her dog now and not be worried. and the person who was responsible for, what happened to her has to pay. And that's what we do.
So what is it that, so we use the term animal control officer, but also chief investigator. What are the job descriptions of those two?
Well, I would tell you the animal control officers chase the dogs.
Dog catcher.
Dog catchers. The investigators chase the owners. Okay? It's the investigators that come out, and if you're ever unfortunately bitten by a dog, it's the investigator that's going to make sure the dog is quarantined at a state vet to make sure that the dog doesn't have rabies. If you have issues with dog owners in the neighborhood that they let the dogs run loose, everybody knows the neighbor that lets the dog out the front door to go to the bathroom on everybody else's lawn because they don't want to clean up behind their own dog, and then let the dog back in the house, and the dog chases everybody in the neighborhood, or you don't get your mail because the mail people won't deliver the mail because the dog's loose. The investigators handle that. We chase owners. We ticket and prosecute owners and hold them responsible. Responsible.
I know that some neighborhoods have more stray dogs than others. What should someone do if they're confronted with a stray dog?
Well, first and foremost, you want to, if you can, avoid the dog.
Right.
Just avoid the dog at all costs.
Even if it's a little cute.
That all dogs bite. Avoid the dog at all costs, because you don't know, if you don't know who owns the dog, you don't know where the dog lives, you don't know the rabies shot status of the dog. So to be safe, you avoid stray dogs. If you know that someone owns the dog and they're being irresponsible, that's what we want. We need you guys to let us know that that's going on, so that's something we can address. A lot of times I talk to citizens on the phone, and I have a voicemail that I have to clear every single day that I'm talking to Detroiters. And, people want to tell me, well, it's the third time, fourth time, fifth time something's happened. Okay, but this is the first time it's been reported. So we can't go back and change the past. So if you see something, say something. A lot of what animal control does parallel what DPD does. We just focus and specialize on the dogs.
I know sometimes you actually go out on enforcement raids and enforcement actions with other law enforcement agencies. Talk a little bit about that as well.
When law enforcement does a raid and they know that there are dogs there, because a lot of the bad guys use the dogs to try to deter the police. And sometimes they use other animals to deter the police. I've seen alligators, pythons. This is what they use to protect the dope. And they think that the police aren't gonna, So animal control goes with the police, obviously. And we remove the dogs or whatever animals out of the situation to let the police do their job.
So I have a pit bull. Best dog I've ever had. I've had Rottweilers, I've had boxers, I have a pit bull now. And this is the smartest dog, the most loving dog I've ever had. But we see stories all across the country, even in the city of Detroit. We have people who have interactions with pit bulls. And some municipalities have created breed-specific laws that ban pit bulls or bully breed dogs.
Unconstitutional.
So very much so. So talk to us a little bit about where the city stands and even your personal views on it.
It's not the dog, it's the owner. It's not the dog, it's the owner. It's no different than a kid. Okay, if the parent raises the child right, you don't have to worry. It's the owner. You have an irresponsible owner. They don't do what they're supposed to do. The dog's not socialized. The dog is not restrained. The dog is not treated well. So it's not the dog, it's the owner.
Yeah, we've been saying that a lot, and there was a group that came to us and was seeking to get a breed-specific ban against pit bulls, and we as city council pushed that back. So,
Well, the city had that 30 years ago.
And it didn't work.
Well, the problem was then is that who's to say how much percentage of pit bull is in any breed of dog. So we had that back then. It was challenged in court and it was ruled unconstitutional. So all dogs have to be licensed. All dogs have to be on a leash. You know, you should treat your animal as a family member and a pet, not a watchdog. And if you do that, you don't have to worry about anything happening to your animal, and you really don't have to fear animal control. That's not our role. The animals that we want to pick up are the stray animals that threaten you all. That's what we want off the street.
So I know we as City Council approved an ordinance, tethering ordinance.
Yes.
Last year. Talk to us, if you will. You know, Ms. Diane Hanks, that was one that was a big one that you were pushing towards us. Talk about how it's been enforced up to this point.
We do have a new ordinance, which it is against the law for a dog owner to tether a dog for more than 3 contiguous hours in a day. Now, the practical enforcement of that is it needs citizen participation. Okay, we do not have the staff to sit at one location for 3 hours to watch to see if this dog is going to be tethered for more than 3 hours. So that really needs that citizen participation where you have a witness that's willing to come to court, willing to testify and go through the whole process to hold that dog owner responsible. And that's the high hurdle that we have to get to, is the participation.
So in terms of getting the word out more to the community, to be more vigilant, to provide you with information?
Not so much the information, you got to participate. Just telling us that you're alleging a crime, but if we don't witness it, we need the civilians to come forward to testify to that.
So what would you need? So someone who's watching right now and they see that it's a dog that's tethered for longer than 3 hours.
You call it in, you let us know, you let us know that you're willing to testify in court. We'll get your information, we'll go out, we'll have a conversation with the dog owner, try to educate the dog owner. If that doesn't work and the behavior doesn't change and you're willing to step forward and come to court and testify, then a ticket will be issued. You'll be contacted and let to know when to come down to 36th District Court to tell what you've seen, and we'll hold the dog owner responsible.
So let me ask you, this is real life application, and you know we have crazy people out here in the world. You know, when it comes to no matter what type of crime, whether it's a crime against animals or a crime against human or property, some people are a little hesitant to go before court because maybe your next door neighbor, they're at your home when you're not there, or your family's at that home when you're not there. Is there any way to anonymously pass on information to you all and still get that enforcement done?
You can anonymously pass on information, but unfortunately, the practical application of prosecuting the person for that particular tethering ordinance, you have to have a witness. The law department has said that, you know, short of having someone who saw that, it's very difficult to get a conviction. It's hard to be anonymous.
So what about someone has a video camera that is trained in, or a phone that has a recording with its timestamp?
36th District Court does not allow camera phones into the building.
They don't allow pens.
They don't. There's a laundry list of things that you cannot bring in
But no, I'm saying
to 36th District Court.
If they provide you all with a file with the video of that animal being tethered for longer than 3 hours, now you don't have to sit there, you actually see it going on.
There's no playback apparatus in court. And, well, pictures work, but the person who takes the pictures have to come to court to testify. You have to understand, in the criminal justice system, you get to see your accuser in this country. I can't change that just because we're talking about a dog being tethered. There are certain standards that judges have to be cross-examined.
And that's not just the city of Detroit.
That's in the whole country. Yeah, that's the way the system's set up.
So you all interact with all types of animals that have insect infestation, fleas, ticks, and other things. How do you not take that stuff home? It's a question. I mean, let's be real. How do you not take? What do you
Change.
do? I mean, what do you do to
well, yeah, you change.
Okay.
You change.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I come to work, I put the uniform on. When I'm done, I change into my civilian clothes and go home.
Do you leave your
Well, the wife won't let me wear work boots in the house. And I keep my work laundry separate from my regular laundry, and you know, you just launder that different. It's
in hot water. Real hot water.
yeah. So I mean, it works. There's a routine to it.
So what's a phone number that folks can call if they in fact have a question, concern, or an issue about an animal?
We have animal control fact sheets like back on the table by the front door here. The main number is 313-224-6356. There are people that will answer the phone. If they're on the phone and you don't get a live person, there is a voicemail. You leave a voicemail, somebody will call you back. I have business cards on the table by the camera. If you have situations that I would address, like if I need to address an owner, my direct number is 224-8930. There's voicemail on that line. I clear that voicemail daily. The only exception would be if I have to go to court. You know, we have to be in court at 8:30 a.m., so there's not enough time to clear voicemail before court. It's usually get done after. But every day, talk to Detroiters. And, you know, animal control is here to assist you all in what issues you have in the neighborhood.
And you're a Detroiter as well, I saw. You live in District 2, though, not District 1.
Yeah, you can't hold that against me. I'm born and raised in Detroit. I'm lifelong Detroiter. Own a house in Detroit, never left. My kids go to school in Detroit. You know, I have no plans on leaving. This is where I am.
Do you have pets?
The wife has a cat now. We had a dog before the kids.
Okay.
Now I got the kids. I leave the dogs at work.
And my last question, and then we're going to open up. I think you got a little time to
Yeah.
ask some questions here. So, 31 years working with the city. We're certainly not trying to push you out. But that's some time that you've been working with the city. We'd love to have you. Do you have an idea of what you may want to do in your next, following whatever time you decide to leave?
I'm not planning on leaving anytime
We
soon.
don't want you to leave.
I don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on doing this for some time. The kids are 13. They haven't hit high school yet, so I got to get through that. And after that, there's going to be some college tuition that's got to be paid. So I'll be here a while.
Yes, sir. We're glad about that. So before you leave, we're going to open up for some questions. Aaron, if you can come grab that mic. Aaron, Reggie, somebody, grab the mic. Any question?
There we go. Listen, I've had experience calling your group, your organization, and you were saying about, what's that, 3 hours? What were you saying? Be tethered, how long? How long?
It's unlawful to tether a dog for over 3 hours.
Okay, I know that if you got a lot of calls, and which you did get, because I was one of the callers, if you just drive by, you could be the witness, because you could drive by maybe every half hour or whatever, plus nobody was living in the house. See, that dog was out there, two dogs, all winter long.
If no one's living in the house, that's a different situation. We can confiscate the animal, especially if it's a land bank owned home. So it's always good to give us a call, let us know everything that's going on with the dog, and if we can determine that it's a city-owned land bank house, then we'll just remove the animal.
Well, they were living in the house, I'm gonna let you go, but they finally got those two dogs, poor dogs, all women, big ones too, big ones. I avoid going that way, and he's in my block, so I cross the street. The dog finally got loose and try to bite somebody. Those are nice sized dogs out there. And we called all winter and all summer about those dogs.
Well, I'm glad we got them picked up for you.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Got a couple back there?
Hi, you spoke a lot about the stray dogs. My issue is different. We have a lot of cats, stray cats. Neighbors fed cats at one point. Obviously, they stopped feeding them. So now they've come over to our yard. I mean, you know, the cars, the porch, the garbage can. They've just taken over our backyard. So, can we get some help for that?
There's absolutely. Well, the city per se doesn't handle that, but I can give you a different agency. It's Michigan Anti-Cruelty. Their phone number is 891-7188. And they usually have a live animal trap program.
Say the number one more time.
313
Hold on, she's getting her papers.
891. It's on the back of that. Michigan Anti-Cruelty. Give them a call, tell them you have a cat issue. They will explain the live animal trap program to you. What they do is when you capture the animals on your property, they'll come out and remove them.
I have to capture them?
You set the cage, you call them when you have an animal in it, they will come out and handle that for you.
Do they give you the cages?
They have a program. I'm gonna let them, you give them a call, they'll explain their program to you. Okay?
Thank you.
It's ironic that you're here today, if you came, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
My big thing has been licensing of animals. And before, when the new director took over, I had a bunch of, went down to animal care and control and got a bunch of the old ones I used to use and gave them to my vet, who has an office on 6 Mile in Detroit and just outside of Detroit. I gave them to the people that were inoculating at Pet Supplies Plus. They were glad to get them. And now my vet office says they haven't had any. They haven't had any in a year. They can't get the documents. So, and I was begging them to give me some, because when I've come here, I've offered them to people and they've taken them. And I know it's online, but not everybody has access to online. And they told me, I called the communications director at the Animal Care and Control just yesterday, or texted her, and she said I had to call the health department. So I called the health department. She told me to call Animal Care and Control, and I said, boy, this is like the old Detroit, you know, fast back and forth. It is not easy for people to get licenses, and when they're in the vet, if the vet has the license right there, they're gonna get a heck of a lot more money for their pets. And then she said, well, they can go down to the health department. Well, if you have to take a bus to the health department, you're not gonna get your animal's license, because what are the chances it's gonna be a problem? So, I think that if you take that back with you, I mean, I'm an advocate, and I would happily take them to my vet, make them, you know, they said they can print them out. Well, maybe they
So what would you want them to do? What's that?
I want the licensing process to be easier. Not everybody goes on the internet. And, because you can
Okay.
get the form on the internet, but that's it.
The form is available on the internet.
Yeah,
The vet office can print from the website as many applications as they want to pass out to people. There's online, there's in office, and you can still do it through the US mail. All you have to do is send the copy of the rabies shot information, which usually has a description of the dog. Check a money order made payable to the city of Detroit and mail it into animal control. That'll be processed and it'll be mailed back to you. You don't have to go anywhere.
but if somebody, right, I know how to do it. I mean, I don't have a problem, I'm just saying, there are many, many people that I think if it's made easier, you'll get a lot more money to operate your business. I'm not gonna print out 100 of them and pass them out myself.
Well, no, but
if you gave me 100, I would.
we process online dog licenses through U.S. mail dog licenses, and people walk in the front door every day.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I wanted to say too, I've been trying to get an issue with the shepherd cleared out. He's been chained on a short chain on a house for 4 years. This is a little emotional. And I've been working with the NPO, and there's so many cars in the backyard, I can't really see how often he's there or for how long, and if they're not the kind of people I would go up against in court. It would be very dangerous for me.
Right.
Can the NPO be a witness to this?
Well, give me their address and we'll see what we can do for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My
And
name is
I just
Rhonda.
want to say, we're getting a little closer to the end, so we got time for 2 more questions after you.
Okay, I'm just making
One,
a statement, I'm
who
gonna
else?
keep it quick.
2.
I was a victim of, I saw brutality on an animal and I called it in and I had to be a witness and I was retaliated against. So I'm very careful of getting involved in that because the way I was retaliated, it wasn't pretty nice, it was very ugly. And I think if they could work on the confidentiality of the individual, or we could probably try to get something strategized. I don't know what we need to do across the board, but I think even crimes, I think we can solve a lot of crimes if we witness protection, if we protect these people. Because no one wants to put their family, as James Tate said, or Councilman Tate said, no one wants to put their family at risk. I mean, you know, you speak up. They want you to speak up, but when you speak up, you're retaliated against, and the police are not there to protect you. So I want to know, and I want to start a movement on how can I, across the board, statewide, worldwide, how can we get the laws changed, the Constitution changed, where we as the community are protected. Maybe the cameras, the situation when you camera or video something can be permissible in court. How can we, or what do we need to do to start a movement on saying, look, you need to protect these people because your outcome of solving crimes may become better, you may have a better outcome.
That's not so much a police matter or an animal control matter, that's a court matter.
That would actually change federally.
That's your court system.
So can I just say?
Councilman Tate.
So what we're talking about now is an issue where, as he indicated, you have a right to face your accuser. So that is, so you hit the nail on the head. People always say that, you know, folks don't snitch. You know, people don't talk. They don't tell the police. A lot of folks are scared because they don't want to end up going to court. And that's the reality of it. That's something that would have to change from a federal standpoint, not just from a local, my level, or even from a department level. That's something that we have to now see what can be worked on through the federal system. Honestly, I don't know how much that would change because understand, let's flip the situation. If you're being accused of a crime, and you didn't necessarily do it, and you know you didn't do it, would you like to know who accused you?
If they had the crime on video of me actually committing the crime?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, but I mean, again, just first of all, we start off, would you like to know who accused you?
If they had the video, no, because that would tell it all.
So we add in the caveat, but I'm saying that's the basis of the law where it starts. But I agree with you, there has to be some way to now protect, because the world is a much different place than it was years ago. And it gets scarier day by day. We have time again for 2 more questions, Rusty.
Mine is kind of 2. Can you also, you have all these leash laws and everything in your booklet. Can we get also the laws for during the winter? Like how long they can keep the dogs out and all that kind of thing? Because we got neighbors who think that dogs can just be out there and they'll survive, you know? And I know there was a sheet before that we had gotten, but I don't know if it was updated or not.
The fact sheets are available. There are the updated ordinances, and I would tell you that if you have those issues, give us a call. We need the address of where the dog owner is, and we address those issues with dog owners.
Okay, so there's no sheet or anything I can give them? to let them know, because that's what part of it is. They
It's-
just don't know.
It's a fact sheet. It's on the table by the front
What
door.
we're handing out.
Yeah,
Yes, the one we're handing out.
I looked at it, I didn't see anything about the snow or anything.
Well, isn't there one that can't stay out all night? They can't be out all night, correct?
Yeah, is that what that is?
So what I will, Daniela, this is attached to me. What my commitment will be is that we will put this online, if the laws and everything aren't already on there.
Okay,
And
I
make it
appreciate
accessible.
that.
We are now, as I've told some of you before, we're still in the process of overhauling our website. There's some things that we still have to work out in terms of IT, but that is, Daniela put that on my list as something that we may not have everything that you're looking for, but it will be more, that's a commitment that we're gonna have, that I'll have a conversation with IT to identify how to make it accessible. When you just type in dog or cat or animal and that information will pop up. So what's your second
Thank
question really quick?
Second question was, okay, I have 2 pit bulls myself. Now, they're like my kids, my toddlers, because they get on my nerves. But anyways, when I go outside in the front, my dogs come with me. They don't go outside the boundaries of my yard. They've been taught that. You could have a dog running down the street and everything else, they'll stay right there. They may go to the curb.
What's your question?
But anyways, do I have to have them on a leash now
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Dogs should be on a leash.
in the front of my own property?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me just say this. So you may believe you have control over your dogs, and you very well may have control, because I had control over my dog as well. But what about the other person who may not have control, who thinks they have control over their dog? So we can't arbitrarily pick and choose who can and cannot. So the law is the same for you as it is for someone.
Everybody.
It's the same for everyone.
They'll be bumming.
So we have one last question, Heidi.
Is it any way that, like, people in your block to find out whether their dog is registered, have license or whatever? Because some of the problem is people have dogs, they're not licensed, because by the time they get to paying all these shots and things, they can't even feed the dogs, and that's why they come in somebody else's yard sometimes. You know, seeing you got anything out there where they can get, or coming around you because they are hungry, they're thirsty, all this kind of stuff. Is there any way we can find out, like just in my block, whether the person has the dog license or not?
I would tell you that if their dog is loose coming to your yard, to give us a call with their address and we'll address them.
Okay, no way we can find out though without calling you, we have to call you.
If you have a dog license, you're supposed to have a dog license by law, and by law the dog license is supposed to be on the dog. So if you don't see a tag on a dog, more than likely it don't have a license.
They're not licensed.
Right, but if you give us a call with their address, we'll address them. Because the dog shouldn't be coming to your house.
Okay, and they should be licensed.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we address that.
Okay, that's what, more, you know, it should be done by these dogs without license.
We catch people every day. So you give us a call with their address, we'll put them on the list.
Then they have to pay.
Yes, ma'am, they have to pay.
Okay, make them pay in it.
Dog licenses aren't free.
And how much are the dog licenses?
$10.
A dog license is $15. If your animal is spayed or neutered, you get a $5 discount. It's $10. The dog license is good for 12 months. I tell people your animal is legally property, and just like your vehicle, you got a plate on the car, you got a license on your dog. You have to have insurance on the car. You have to have a rabies shot for the dog. It has to be. That's the law.
So we want to thank you, Chief Investigator, for coming.